What's up, executors? E.T.E Chronicles combat is fast, strategic, and packed with mecha action. But if you're not using the right team and tactics, you might struggle. Today, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about the combat system. Mecha types, pre-battle strategy, and teamfight mechanics. Without further ado, let's dive in! Alright, let's start with the basics. Understanding the mechas will make your life easier. You can understand formations and synergies. And what's on? Mechas are divided in 4 categories, 4 classes: Heavy, Assault, Special, and Support. Heavy units are specialized in AoE taunts. They have personal buffs for armor and shields, at some extent also team buffs. Assault units are your primary DPSs. They are specialized in damage, of course, sustain or burst. They have personal buffs, personal debuffs at some extent, team buffs at some extent as well, but mainly are DPSs. Special units are specialized in debuffs, team buffs, personal buffs. They are also considered as secondary DPSs. You can find almost everything in special units. Support units are technically your healers. We don't have so many at the game right now. They are specialized in healing, of course, repairing your DS field, which we're gonna talk about it soon. And at some extent, they also offer team buffs, shield buffs, and what's on. Now, all of those classes can be found individually in every single one of those categories. Those categories are called drive types, and it has nothing to do with elemental weaknesses from other games that you might played and experienced. It's something unique in this game, and actually it's pretty cool. In every fight, all the units, both allies and enemies, will have a shield called DS field. And every color, there are 5 in total, have a different approach on this shield. Technically, the shield has to go off before you start hitting HP. It's not always the case, and this is where colors comes into play. For example, the green one, the resonance one, can deal moderate damage to both the shield and the unit, but cannot penetrate the shield. That means that when a green unit starts to hit whatever, it doesn't matter what color that is, it will start hitting the shield first, do moderate damage on the shield, and when the shield goes off, the unit will continue to do moderate damage on the unit. Another example is Mechas, which is the blue units. Blue units can deal high damage to the shield, cannot penetrate it as well, and moderate damage to the unit. So, as we saw in comparison with the green one, blue units are technically better overall because they can do also high damage to the shield, not moderate one, but moderate damage to the unit. And photons technically are the best category in this comparison that we are doing right here, that can actually do high damage to the shield and as well penetrate the shield, while also dealing high damage to the unit. Not completely penetrated, partially, which means that you will do high damage to the shield until you break it. Some damage will pass as well to HP until the shield is off, and when the shield is off, you will have very high damage to the unit as well. Now lastly, every mecha has something called battlefield advantage. Technically, battlefields are 3, ground, naval, and aerial, and every time we face one of those battlefields, for example, for instance, this unit is a ground unit, so every time we are facing a ground battlefield, this unit will have increased stats. I'm not gonna go through many details here as I explain a lot about modification as well in my beginner's guide video. I'm just gonna mention that and move on with the pre-battle formation, where I'm gonna explain it further. Okay, now we are on the pre-battle formation, and what do you need to know about pre-battle formations? Well, first and foremost, you can see at your the right side of your screen what battlefield you are facing. So we are on a ground battlefield. I have 2 ground units, so those units will have increased stats, while my other units that are not based on ground battlefield, they will have reduced stats. For instance, Bratz has 6369 CP. What's going on with this 669 CP? As you see here, 6628. So she loses like almost 300 CP, as she's not a based ground unit. Have that in mind as well when you encounter challenging stages where you're lacking some CP and you have units advanced that are actually meet the requirements. Maybe it's wiser to use those units. Additionally, there are some stages that you will see right down here that it says enemy halo and has the magnet icon indicated. If you go and open it, let me remove my camera for a bit so you can actually see it. Magnetism during the existence of the halo, all the DS fields, which is the shields of the unit, will be 300% more, effect resistance 100% more, etc. So, if I don't have a blue unit on the formation, damn you, and I'm going to battle, a message will be popped that I don't have a magnetism mecha in the current squad and it's hard to confront enemies halo. If I'm not gonna use a blue unit, it's gonna be actually hard to penetrate this shield. So always make sure that if you meet encounters where it's required to use a halo unit, you need the exact same color, okay? Now, selecting your leader is also very important. From the top right, you can see the lead unit. Now at this current moment, it's Tika. And if I want to change my leader, I can just confirm it. And why that's important? Well, on auto mode, it's important because the unit that it will be the leader, it will be the same unit that will use the focus fire. Technically, the unit that you will control. A second reason is that in some cases, the lead unit, if you don't have a tank especially, will absorb all the damage. So it's a small trick if you're not playing a tank team or for some reason your tank might lack taunt and you want someone else to absorb the damage to change leader. Additionally, order of characters is also important. And why is that? There are specific classes, for example, Ivatoshi. Ivatoshi has something unique on the passive that after ultimate it's casted, increase the armor of the first two allies by 100%. There are also skills that affecting the enemies, and you will notice the skill's explanation will be like the last two enemies, for instance. So the first two allies will be always the first two allies, number 1 and 2. So replacing the positions, if for example I wanted my Bratz to get the buff, I can switch it to 2 and she will be the one getting the buff. If I wanted Ivatoshi itself to get the buff, I could place her to 2 and she will get the buff. So you get the idea, okay? When you encounter skills like that, formation is also important. Now, by explaining all the pre-battle, let's jump into battle. Okay, let's talk basics first. Okay, you have auto and manual, self-explanatory. If you press auto, actually for this one, let me remove me. Down here, in the ultimate skill animation section, you will see on and off. If you go off, you won't be able to see the animations for the ultimates, but it will save. You will save a lot of time at the same time. Now, inside the fight, beside the normal hits, beside the skills that you can press down here, beside the ultimates that you can press from the top right, you have also an acceleration button, and that works like a charm when you're technically focused. You can go behind trees, you can go behind rocks, behind objects in general, and the enemy won't hit you. Just to know that in challenging stages where you want to control a unit, take all the focus like I'm doing right now and go behind the tree or whatever. Now, the most important part that I want to actually showcase inside the fight is focus fire. Focus fire is a unique skill that every unit has and works. Technically, if I use with my current character the skill, every character will go, let me focus fire this unit for instance, and I will switch back to my sticker. You will see that also the focus fire skill is out of CD. That means that my selection of the character, either as a leader, either as me playing right now in auto, the focus fire skill will always pop from this exact unit that I control, and the effect from the focus fire is different for each character individually. In that point is where colors comes into play. Let's go for here, which we don't have anyway the CP, and give that as an example. For instance, as you can see, I need both halos of green and red. I need ground units. What I'm gonna do right here is that I'm gonna switch my ruler to the red tank that I haven't actually fixed yet. Maybe I use again DPS. I'm gonna switch. My leader will be Stika for this fight. And I think we're done. Let's jump into the fight. You will also feel like what I was saying about CP. Let's go for auto for an example. As you see, now that I'm focused with the acceleration, I can save a lot of time. Now that you can see this indication of red one, what I have to do is switch to red one and focus fire this, so I can actually break the halo as you saw. Problem is that, you know, my CP is not high enough. As you can see at the top left as well, and this is something also important that I wanted to actually showcase. Now I switch to Stika to do her focused attack, as I consider that more important. I will switch now to the healer. This is what I wanted to show you. As from the left icon, I cleared first the DPS unit. The special unit, I'm not such of need to clear it. Now I need the red halo to actually penetrate the shield. I will take the healers first, and this is something also worth to mention, that you can actually switch targets from the top left if you consider that the target that you are going to face is more important. And with that said, I think we covered everything about combat in E.T.E Chronicles. Now, if you have questions, always drop down in the comments. If I forgot to add something important, please comment it and I will pin it on the top of the comments. Subscribe if you like the content. It motivates me to keep going on and make more videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya!